Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to show you my new project slash build, or yeah, whatever this character is going to be like. The only thing I know, it is Spectral Throw. And yes, but I love this MTX, it's actually so beautiful. Anyway, so thing is, I leveled this character up yesterday. Oh, I have a hair in my eye. Ouch. Okay, now it's working. So, I leveled this guy up yesterday. It is currently level 74, so yeah, strictly out of ready for maps, basically. Just made all the acts yesterday. And for leveling, I have to say, holy fuck, this is bad. Like usually, you level up with a tabula, like once League started, even in hardcore or something. It's not a big deal to just get your tabula going somewhere. So basically, I leveled this character up with a 6 link with 20% quality gems, and the damage is so bad that, yeah, holy moly, dude. I think you need quite some investment to make this build as good as possible, right? For a showcase, if you're not known on Spectral Throw, and yes, I'm taking Blood Aqueducts here in Act 9, because I want to show how this build should look like once we've done or made some investment. So if you're thinking like, hey, this is a complete build guide or something, no. This is basically, I want to share my thoughts about Spectral Throw, because this is basically the second time I'm playing it. The first time was basically in hardcore solo self-found. And this is the speed that I want to reach, right? I want to just run in there, explode everything, and this should be actually be playable in high tier maps, right? I know we have Legion, I know that everybody's farming Legions in low tier maps because it's so much more profitable than anything else at the moment. But I still want to make a character that can easily like farm Uber Elder Shape or whatever I need to, right? But this is the speed that I want to get. Clear at that area. I'm still farming my challenges. We are on 32 at the moment. And I'm missing that in the vessel that you get in these Val-sided areas are having 2 of the same fragments. So that's why I don't really want to skip those. I don't know how many of those I already ran, but I just cannot get it for some reason. Maybe this is the time. It's not. Anyways, so this is the speed I want to have. I'm going to, like, after this run here is done, I'm going to run a map based on my level. So it's going to be a tier 2, tier 3 map. And you're going to see that the damage already falls off with the current gear that I have. And I want to mention that my gear is probably 50 chaos. If actually 50 chaos, you know, it's a 5-link impulsor. And if you think like, holy shit, dude, impulsor is like 5 exalts or something, yeah. In this league, an impulsor, 5-link by the way, is 60 chaos, right? The normal impulsor goes for, I think 10 chaos or 15 chaos. So the main goal for this build should be clearing the Legion dudes as fast as possible at any kind of high tier, or at least like map tier, right? And since we have the Spectral Throw is basically, if I pull it over here, it's not just the weapons, the Spectral Throw that spawn in you and then make a bigger circle. So it's pretty cool to just run into these Legion mobs and just press your Spectral Throw 1 or twice and then keep on moving, because in that area the Spectral Throw will clear everything, right? So, kill those real quick. And yes, I know it's Act 9, but hey, keep gear level 70, what do you expect? But still, let's try to run a map so I can show you what it is like to run a map with this kind of setup, if we're fast enough. So map tier, let's go map tier 3, probably any open map. And plotted mine, ashen wood, relic, pier. I only have, I want to keep one of the maps, so maybe tier 4. Strand, we only have 1. Yeah, never mind, you know what, let's run the strand. So ally reflect is bad. What is this? Chance, multi, area of effect, whatever. So, this is a normal tier 4 map just with an alpha on it, right? And you're gonna see what I mean with the damage is absolute shit without investment. I'm running 2 Dream Feathers, and they're basically getting attack damage if I scale evasion rating. You go for a chaos maybe? Yeah, 1 chaos. Which is not a lot, obviously, right? For the mapping process itself, it does look okay. But the boss damage, once you hit those rare packs, you see that they need multiple hits to actually die. The good thing is every time you approach one of these bigger packs, you can just use your Wild Spectral throw in the middle of the pack and they will just basically get demolished, as you see here. Which is good, but once we start getting Legion, what we have over here, so the basic idea is just like Wild Spectral throw, Wild Spectral throw, Wild Spectral throw, and then start clearing manually, okay? So we have a really, really good area clear. But as you see over here, how many shots does this guy take until it actually opens up, you know? And that made me think of how many possibilities do you have to make this build pretty good, you know? And this is something I want to talk about after this map here, because I want to show you the map showcase in the current build without changing for a single target setup. Yeah, but as you see, we're struggling here with the damage quite a lot, and this is the low tier map, so without any kind of investment, it's going to be hard to reach any kind of high tier maps. So, this is done, basically. But I like the playstyle. The playstyle is something new, I gotta say. And it's a lot of fun, okay? So this build, maybe it doesn't look... I mean, it is fast. It is fast once you get rolling, and it's going to be really great once it gets rolling. Let's check the single target DPS. 3 times Wild Spectral throw. Nice deeps, right? Tier 4, by the way. So usually, you would switch to a different setup, and that being... Oh, my Spectral throw! Oh, yes. That deeps, man. Usually you would go for a single target setup. With that being slower projectiles instead of the greater multiple projectiles. So we only throw like 1 or 2 of the Spectral throws, depending on your ascendancy. But this is going to be a lot more damage, okay? So, let's talk about my gear real quick, what I decided to level up with. Basically, grip gloves for projectile damage and slow approach. Now, the slow approach doesn't do anything for us besides the second part of the stat, which is increased projectile damage. So this is just generic damage. A Worm C, yeah, leveling. A tier stab offer a lot of evasion rating. Evasion rating ends up being attack damage for my swords at the moment. Then a 5-link impulsor. Because I thought like, hey, wait a sec. If we are having a physical build that is converted into lightning damage so we can shock and use an impulsor, that could be actually some pretty awesome clear speed. Yeah. Just the problem is, while Spectral throw doesn't do a lot of damage. So this is the point where what I want to talk about today. What possibilities do we have to make this build like really good, especially for high tier and also Uber Elder viable, and what I'm probably going to try out as the next step, and so on. So yeah, Starconscious with a reduced Spectral throw deceleration. That means that once they have the max range reached, they're gonna stay a little bit longer before they come back, you know? Because if I unequip this, you're gonna see that they instantly roll back. Better showcase here. So they can turn out and then come back. And if I use this one, they will take way longer to actually get back. So that's like 30% deceleration speed. Pretty nice in chat. And yeah, rest of the gear. Hey, I have Tamings. Tamings are expensive. Yeah, they are. But that was the only way that I can fix my resistance to make this video actually with positive resistance. It feels so bad actually for making a video with this kind of gear. But I know that today on the stream we're gonna end up probably being level 90 maybe. And probably invested some kind of currency into it. But I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about Spectral Throw itself. And yeah, what possibilities we have. Skill tree is pretty generic for every kind of Raider Ascendancy, right? Or Ranger with evasion rating, life, and that kind of stuff. Then life, Lord nodes, ally damage nodes, crit nodes, life nodes, Vitality Void for some leech, projectile gems, life, bravery here for yeah, life evasion. Same here, face acrobatics. It's like basically the same as every kind of yeah, Ranger generic character, you know, never mind if it's going to be a tornado shot, if it's going to be a cyclone, whatever, like, they all have basically the same tree. Anyways, so as I said, for this build, what I was thinking was, hey, if we are having physical damage and convert this physical damage into lightning damage to shock, right? How can we reach that? So we have the physical to lightning gem that basically converts 50% of our physical into lightning. Then we have the new crafting bench craft, or at least not new, but since the crafting bench is released, we have physical converted as a prefix craft. And then we have the Watcher's Eye. That gives you another, I think like 20 to 40, 25 to 40, another conversion. So if we count this one up, 50 from the gem, then 20 plus from my glove enchant, and 30 plus from the damage conversion on the Wrath Jewel, Watcher's Eye Jewel, we have the 100%. So my damage at the moment is pure lightning, as you see over here. Once I pop my flask, I get some extra chaos damage, but basically, it's a pure lightning at the moment. But, I mean, path of building of this one here, which currently sucks, is still in the description below if you want to see my current setup. But now I actually want to talk about what possibilities do we have to make this build work quite fine. So, Spectral Throw, as I said, I played it in the first time in the Flashback Hardcore League. The first character died on level 40 because I had a Windows error, which was actually pretty sad. But I had so much fun playing Spectral Throw that I decided to level up a second one, right? The second one is still alive for some weird reason, so it was Flashback, now it's in Solo Self-Formed Hardcore Standard. It's this one, Dead Eye, here we go. So this one is still alive, but the problem is I'm running 2000... Okay, skill tree is resetted. That. Hey, nice jewel here. The problem is this character has 2000 life in mapping. And that's why I said, like, okay, this is probably not what I really want to play in hardcore itself, because, yeah, 2000 life, yeah, rip. But it still survived for some weird reason. Even Kitaba with, like, 1900 life was not a big deal. Anyways, so we have the option to go elemental damage. We have the option to go Abyss Jewel stacking. We could do Crown of Ice with spell damage. We could do Liquidate with, like, the Alley Boss Saw, right? It's just generic elemental damage. We could take a physical build. We can take a pure lightning based build, or we could take Shroud of the Lightless for the Alley penetration if you're having triple DPS foils. What other option we have? A pure physical variation. You can play the physical with Herald of Ice, a Dex stacking. That's what Matil did recently, I think like last league or 2 leagues ago. He was playing a Dex stacking cold Spectral Throw, which worked out pretty fine. So you can play this build in a lot of different ways. There is one thing that I want to mention. We had Abyssal Jewel nerfs in this league, right? So all the Abyssal Jewels that we used to have for flat damage stacking, whether it's a Tornado Shot, if it's Spectral Throw, if it's every kind of Wonder, right? We just tried to get as much flat damage from Abyss Jewels as possible. Which actually worked out fine, but in 3.7 they got nerfed. So they have like, I don't know, like 30-40% less stats on the Abyss Jewel. So stacking Abyss Jewels with Tomb Fists, with Bubonic Trails, with the Darkness Enthroned, the belt with the 2 Abyss Jewel slots, and getting all your tree with the Abyss Jewel slots is not that valuable anymore. Okay, so what other option do we have? They buffed Alley DPS weapons by a lot. We are just going to check out, wait a second, PoE trade, if it works, because PoE trade is not that great at the moment. So, we have like 100 weapons, any non-unique. We're gonna start at 500 Alley DPS. For example, the best standard foil, which is like Vortex Hunger or something, that's like a 500 something Alley DPS foil, right? And since we have changes now, 678 Alley DPS for 7 exalts. That's super cheap, I would say. Cheap, yeah, probably cheap. But they are really insane in scaling. So why is that? Because they adjusted the flat rolls of Alley rolls, right? If I remember back, the tier 1 stat that we used to have on Lightning was, I think, like up to like 10 to 166 damage. The new Lightning goes up to 310. The newest fire mod goes from 100 to a 200, and the highest cold mod goes from 100 to 170. So if we live in a perfect dream world, here we have double tier 1, and if we get the cold damage tier 1 as well, this one is 124, you could get more than 700 ally DPS weapons, which is more than 200 ally damage higher than the ally foils or ally weapons we used to have. So as you can imagine, hey, okay, they nerfed the Abyss Jewels, but now we can get way more flat ally damage on our weapons. So it evens out a little bit, you know? So one thing that we could do is getting a jeweled foil like this in our main hand, Lycoside in the other hand for hits cannot be evaded. Holy shit, microphone. And start doing damage like that. Or, with the new accuracy changes, it's not hard to actually get rolling with 100% hit chance, because they changed that. It's now way easier to get 100% hit chance, even if you can get it 100%, right? It's not a real big deal. I have like, how much do I have here? 100%. And I don't have hits cannot be evaded, right? That's just because my weapons give me double force 75 accuracy, and that's basically enough to get 100% hit chance, which is insane. So, we could dual wield those weapons and go for a Shroud of the Lightless. If we're gonna take Shroud of the Lightless, like this. This one has socketed gems are supported by level 20 elemental penetration. That counts for all elemental sources, you know? And since we want to use ally foils that have all 3 elements, the ally penetration will come in very handy. So we have a 5-link Shroud plus this stat is like a 6-link, right? Because usually you have like Cold Pen, you have Lightning Pen, Fire Pen. No, this is Ally Pen that counts for all, which is pretty insane for a build like that. Then, next option, this is the one that I'm going to probably try out, is Crown of Ice. So Crown of Ice was actually once a very, very, very good unique. But it's not that great anymore. But this one has a very unique stat which says increase and reductions to spell damage also apply to attacks. That means if I'm wearing this item and I get 2 foils with crafted spell damage, they will count for my attacks. And this is actually pretty nice in that case, that you can scale your generic damage with that. So you're just gonna get a bunch of opal rings, ally damage, spell damage on the ring, like, I don't know, shaped mod or whatever. Multi-modded foils, for example, with spell damage, hits cannot be evaded, damage is extra chaos, whatever you can get. And you will end up having a shitload of generic damage for your Spectral throw. The next thing that I was thinking about, hey, if we take Crown of Ice and also add the spell damage on my foils, what if we go Raider and take a Pharaoh's Four? Because a Pharaoh's Four here, a Pharaoh's Four has actually an insane low price at the moment, like that. So if we check here, yep, up a new PoE trait here. So we have the Pharaoh's, right? They usually go for 20 exalts. They're currently at 8 exalt. Nobody wants to play that because these, how are you gonna say that? It's not like that used anymore, you know? Because usually you had these Pharaoh's Four with a lot of Abyss Jewel stacking with Hail Negator and so on. And since Abyss Jewels got nerfed, nobody wants to play that anymore. It's super rare, nevertheless to say. And oh boy, item level 36. Where the fuck did this guy get the Pharaoh's Four? Probably from Legion. Because the other ones are like 80, 82, 82, and so on. So getting a Pharaoh's Four will result in having permanent power and frenzy charges up. Because you switch the stances every time you switch the stance to, I think, the Cat Stealth or Cat something. You're gonna get maximum frenzy and power charges. So if we're gonna play this as a Raider, a Path of Building over here. If you play this as a Raider, we have... on facing while maximum frenzy charges. So we have permanent frenzy and power charges, permanent facing, and if we want to, we could also go Avatar of Chase and have like insane amounts of onslaught and speed. We end up having 7 or 8 frenzy charges in total, which would make this build super, super, super speedy, and this is exactly what I want to play with this build. But, as I said before, I'm really struggling on DPS at the moment. So, what other options as a Spectral throw character do we have? As I said, the deck stacking, what Martel did, I think with the White Wind weapons or something. and some other generic dex stacking stuff where you get cold damage. And yeah, what else do we have? Physical, pure physical. Played as a Slayer, played as a Deadeye, played as a Raider, played as a Scion. So you have really a lot of options to get this build going. But we're gonna find out today on stream what would be the best. I think personal prediction that the Crown of Ice spell damage Pharos 4 combination could be fast as fuck, dude, and clearing legions and everything like pretty fast and solid. Just back to this Impulsor here, it works out, you know, I'm shocking enemies, they explode, but I don't think on this kind of AoE that we have with Spectral Throw, it is necessary to run an Impulse, although they are like super cheap. But yeah, enough talking, I think. This is actually the build that I'm currently trying to play. If you're wondering, hey, what happened to your Cycloner? Cycloner is still alive. I don't really want to sell things. I have them for sale, but for example, I killed Uber Elder 47 times at the moment. 10 Watcher's Eye, 2 Shroud of the 2 Eternity Shrouds, then I made Shaper. Wait a second, Shaper about... Hey, where is my Shaper? Shaper, here we go. 24 Shapers, 3 Staff Forges. So, yeah, in all that amount of Guardian maps and fragments that I got and wasted for so many Uber Elders that didn't wield anything or yield any profit, I gotta say, I think the most effective way to farm currency at the moment is probably farming any kind of low tier map and farm those Legion dudes. They can drop Headhunters, they can drop Pharaoh's 4 as you just saw with the item level 36. They can drop a lot of Exalts. I found a total of 9 Exalts in this league already, and 7 of those came from the Legion encounter. So the drop chances are super high, or at least way more higher than it used to be on normal mapping, right? So I think if you ever want to find a mirror, I think this league, as a magic finder, farming low tier maps, killing Legion encounters, should be the most effective way to actually try to get one. And yeah, of the 47 Uber Elder kills that I did, more than 40 of those were on a Tabula Rasa with the Cycloner. So nowadays I could afford a pretty nice Astral Plate with Maim and a nice life pool. Still no base crit, but still this thing is worth quite a lot. This just makes my Cycloner even more ridiculous, right? So not needed at all. That's why don't think that I need to do an update on the Cycloner, because it works like a flaw with a Tabula, 4k life, Uber Elder, countless times deathless, right? So all I stick more into this character will just be more damage, more survivability, but it already works, so just for that. Okay, I think ready for stream. I need to get this boy to a pretty decent state because I'm so hyped about this Spectral Throw character, and it's the first time I'm really trying it with like more investment than hardcore solo self-found. And yeah, I'm looking pretty forward to it. I think it's going to be super fancy, super fast. And yeah, if you want to check out Twitch TV/mbXtreme when I try to bring this baby a little bit higher than the current state of the art. So thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.